All right. Welcome to another special edition stream, I should say. We did this last week on Mike's channel over at Team Hold. We're going to do it here, kind of home and away each week, talking the Owners Club strategy. You guys have seen me, pull it up on my Thursday shows, Sunday shows, kind of reviewing the strategy there. So if you guys have questions about it, feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll try to hit them. But Mike and I are going to walk through strategy for week 11, some of the things that are interesting in the marketplace, and kind of just our general thoughts about how we are attacking these tournaments. So, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Feels good. Feels good to be on the Overzet channel.
Yeah, we normally have. You've been on for a few Club Top Shots recently.
Yeah, I think this will be the most words I get in on an Overzet stream, though.
It's funny you say that because we are going to bring on Plunge right now. So just we'll do some level setting here, just so people kind of know what we're working with. So the Owners Club, it's an NFT meets DFS style game. And to get around, copyright situations, yada, yada, this is team names and team scoring. So there's nothing about specific players. And it's kind of nice in the regard of if a running back gets hurt and his backup comes in and scores all the points, you still get those with your Indianapolis Colts running back card. So you get the entire position, and it actually adds an interesting strategic element because there are some teams who, say the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they have Najee as their main back, they actually don't project quite as well as some of these other backfields because Najee's getting 98% of their carries. Say right. The Broncos, who those two individuals don't put up as much as Najee by themselves, but together can often outscore them. So there actually is a different wrinkle here. Are there any of those situations that you've been trying to exploit that are maybe counterintuitive to typical fantasy scoring?
Well, I was just thinking because we were talking off air about like the Colts situation, right? And my initial thought was probably fading that running back. But then even in the situation that they get down big, you're still getting the Hines workload, right? So like you're still getting all of those catches. And if he like brings one in like while they're late in garbage time, whatever, like you're still getting that action, which has changed my thought process in like the last 5 minutes. Cause I was like, I think I'm going to stay away from that. But now actually that's a little bit more intriguing because it's game script proof almost. Like you're getting all of Taylor, you're getting all of Hines, and both are pretty productive.
Yeah. And last week, Indianapolis running back was projecting as the top running back play. They were coming off of a super juicy matchup. This week I'm seeing them as like the 9th best running back play. But again, projections are still fragile. Heading into tonight or last night, we had New England running backs who were projecting as the 2nd best play. You could have seen a massive game for them with Harris and Ramondre there, but the defense gets it. So these projections are still fragile, but as we were kind of talking about on your show last week, I like having it as kind of a guidepost for helping me make these decisions.
Yeah, that's what I like to. Like if there's any tie-breaking situations or just to get some sort of idea of what the landscape's going to look like going into it. And I mean, I don't know. I would think that other people are also doing something similar, right? At least looking at like totals or whatever and making decisions based off that. And so you can kind of get a feel for what's going to be popular and then trying to find ways to be a little bit more unique.
Yeah, and it's like DFS in that you have the same dilemma that we always have, and it's how much, projected points are you willing to give up for correlation? And we were mentioning the Indianapolis running back. That was a tough one for me because, I want to roll out my Bills stack. And, if you're going to have a bring back in that game, it's logically, the Colts. But you could also see Buffalo getting up quickly and maybe even Hines catching passes that doesn't score as well in this scoring format. So yeah, that's a tricky decision for me if I like the game correlation enough or if I want to, go to a one-off running back there.
I also wonder too, I'm sure there's a way to do this, and I don't know if there's an easy way to do this, but I would love to know how many people who own the Bills quarterback, the Bills wide receiver also own the Colts running back. Like I would like to be able to see how chalky that situation would be. Be like, okay, there's of the 90 or 300 that own Jonathan Taylor, how many would 50 of them also owned a Bills quarterback and wide receiver? So like, I wonder how different you actually have to be in that scenario.
No, that's a good point. That would be another fun thing to have. Yeah, something that could look at wallets, because
Yeah.
clearly the information is there. It's all publicly available, and definitely got to give Owners Club a shout out because they've added some new things to their website. They now have some default projections up as
Love
well, which
that.
I think is pretty helpful if you're just trying to get a gauge for how these teams have been scoring here. Let me see if I can get the screen to properly display it all here. So
I
here
love
we
this.
have in the first tab. So you can see the previous weeks, and then you can see the week 11 projection here. So I do think it's important. One thing, again, same thing with DFS. It's like you hand build a lineup. You're like, oh, this feels good, and then you go and double check it against projections. You're like, holy cow, the optimal, and the optimal this week in my projections is 103.8. And I can just pull this up here, and I know we're bouncing around a lot, but
No,
that's
that's right.
uh, so these are the ETR projections that I pulled in to create mine. And so you can kind of see the optimal up here would be Baltimore QB. Obviously now Patriots defense is going to be in the optimal. So
Mhm.
you need to update that since they'll have 32 points. But then you have Cleveland running back, Cincinnati wide receiver, and KC tight end. So it's a little bit more disjointed of an optimal. Last week at Buffalo QB and Buffalo wide receiver were both up there. But anything jump out to you kind of right away as you look at some of these projections?
I think Baltimore being optimal was surprising. I know that Lamar has like so many points because of the ground game that he brings. But I like first glance when I was looking at just the slate this week, I was like, I don't really I'm not thrilled to roll out quarterbacks against Chicago. That's not a thing that I'm like
Yeah.
itching to do. So I was surprised to see that he was like the best play.
Yeah. I mean, he just always projects so well just because they have been throwing more this
Mhm.
year. You have Rashad Bateman adding more of a vertical element to their offense. And then we also know that Lamar is capable of, rushing for 100 yards in
Right.
any spot. So that kind of checks out to me. But I am with you that just looking at that game environment, it's not quite as sexy as Buffalo, Indianapolis, as Dallas, KC. And I'm curious too for like in the main event, I do imagine that because people are far more excited to do a Dallas stack and a
Right.
KC stack than they are a Baltimore stack, even with tight end. Maybe with tight end is how you would do it with Baltimore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do because I have both the Baltimore quarterback and the tight end, and that's kind of how I would roll that out there. Um, but that's interesting. I don't think I would have thrown that out there. I think I would have saved it for like a side hustle. That's where I was planning on using Lamar. I wasn't planning on using him in the main event. But now I feel like I gotta.
Well, and this is kind of the nice thing. Like if you had, unlimited cards or you had the entire pool, um, you know, maybe you don't have to go there because you want to prioritize the correlation with stacks. But,
Right.
I have Cincinnati wide receiver and I don't have Cincy quarterback. And so that might be a spot where I would look to do Baltimore QB as like the uncorrelated naked QB. And then maybe I do Cincinnati wide receiver and Las Vegas tight end. And so you get the correlation within that game, and you still think there's paths for Lamar Jackson to outscore Burrow, even if Cincinnati wide receiver goes off.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah, especially because of what Lamar brings on the ground. That naked Lamar. We're back to naked Lamar.
Yeah.
I like it.
And the other thing too with the Dallas KC, which I think is going to be very popular.
Yeah.
I assume the most popular construction will be KC QB, KC tight end, Dallas wide receiver. That's
Yeah.
kind of my guess because if you go KC QB, KC wide receiver, I guess you could do Dallas RB. Dallas tight end is a little thinner, as you can see here from the projections.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. For whatever reason, and maybe it's because it's being talked up so much, I kind of like the idea of going for the Dallas running back in this one,
Yeah.
and then just hoping. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little hurt from last week when Zeke. I don't know. What did he have? Like 30 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, and just
Yeah.
like absolutely tilting because of the ceiling that a lot of people had with Dak and the wide receiver, who still like did great, but could have easily gotten like 1,000,000 points last week. But yeah, that game's going to be super tricky. I'm intrigued by the Green Bay situation a little bit. I I know Rogers doesn't really bring enough to the table like Lamar does, but we were talking earlier about how well like Green Bay wide receivers project. I don't know. I kind of like having that a little bit of exposure to that situation. And if everyone's going to Dallas and KC, like someone like a Devontae Adams can still break it, you know?
For sure. Let's check in real quick on the Thursday night stuff here. As far as what kind of points people might be banking heading into the weekend. And, the main one here is New England defense went absolutely berserk. 33 points is insane. I mean, you can look at the default projections here. These defenses project around, 8 points at the high end. These are, of course, median projections, but still to get a 33-point burger here from the Patriots, I know where I lean on this as far as where I like to play these, but if you have New England defense, what kind of contest are you looking to put it in?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. Can we go back to last week's results if we
Yep.
go to the leaderboard? And because Miami did a similar thing on Thursday, right? Where they put up, I think 22 or 23 points. I
Yep.
forget what their total was. So I'd be curious to see like how many of the first or like the top 20 lineups in both the main event and the side hustle had. So, all right, we saw Dallas had 26. So there's a handful of Miami. Wow. That's the Joker.
So you do see a lot of Miami, but man, see, God, I just noticed this lineup. I would never have had the Galaxy brain to do Dallas, QB, wide receiver, and defense.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow. Full onslaught, baby.
Full onslaught. But again, and I know I keep using the comparisons to DFS, but we always talk about limiting the number of things you have to get right.
Right.
Intuitively for me, if Dallas QB wide receiver hits, I would think, oh, maybe, or Atlanta running back or tight end hits because
Right.
those actually projected really well. But again, it's just like we have seen the Bills put up performances like this as well, where the passing game gets there and their defense. So I don't think it's that crazy.
No. Now, can you go to the island? Oh, okay, so we're seeing a lot of Miami, but the island results, right? That's the defense tight end because I do. Wow. All right, so a lot of Cowboys.
Well, that's just because they were the optimal. I'm sure
Right.
we're going to see a ton of Dolphins down here as well. But it actually, I see what you're hinting at. The thesis being more people toss these in the main.
Yeah, that's what I was. Well, originally I thought more people are like, oh, let me secure my profits here. Like how likely is it that another defense is going to put up 20 plus points? And so like let's just throw it in here and then hope one of my tight ends hit. Also see Lou Dog Sports right there with the 36th place finish.
There you go.
So I was curious if because like that 30-point number is so massive. So do you just stick that in? Yeah, I don't know. How are you going to approach it? Because you have one, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, the whole thing is I'm not personally grinding this out I'm just trying to be as profitable as I can. I'm trying to win a live final seat.
Right.
That's my number one goal. So my goal is different than some people with this. And so if you were trying to grind out a profit, I do think because there's so much, volatility with the tight end projections, I think pairing, New England D, if you have this is where I run into the issue. I think the New England Patriots defense with, KC tight end, I feel like that's going to be fairly popular.
Yeah.
And then I start to worry, what's my serial? Can I dupe? And it's like, if 4 people roll that out and it hits, and then I'm chopping, $200, to me, that it just doesn't get my personal juices flowing with this. Where when we add 4 more spots into the main event, there's a lot more where I don't feel like I'm stonewalled. I'm pretty sure my lineups will be different than other New England defense lineups.
No, I'm with you there. And I think the way that I've been approaching this too is I put a lot of thought into my main events first. That's where like the most of my like energy goes to is like I want to make sure I'm securing like the best possible ceilings for those 3 lineups. And then I go to the low ball and that's like my next priority is I want to make the grossest thing I can with what I have. And then after that, it's just kind of picking it. Like, it's like, okay, I guess these make sense for the side hustle and these make sense for the island. But like most of my energy is directed towards the main event for the same reason that you said. Like, I'm trying to, yes, it would be cool to get whatever first is like 450. Yeah, I would love that. But I'm way more excited about the potential of like going to Miami.
Yeah. And a couple other comments here that I agree with. And, Jeb Bush says here, if KC tight end doesn't hit, then you've wasted your DST. And that goes back to, again, another DFS principle. What do you win when you're right? So
Right.
you win if you're right in the side hustle, like, yeah, like $200, like that. Don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
that's great. And that's nice to return profit. But if I'm right around my stack combination in the main event, I
Mhm.
have a much higher ceiling for what I can get paid off at. So if
Yeah.
I'm right, I really want to get paid off. And then St. Stoogie here talking about if you're looking to
Yeah.
secure profits, and this is totally 100% correct. You just
Mhm.
sell Thursday night studs on the marketplace. You got to go for ceiling, especially with New England DST this week. And we can pull up New England DST, but they were popping in the market.
Well, I bought it today for $210.
Did you, Mike? What a fish. No.
I did. I got too excited about some of my potential lineups, and we may or may not have moved a little off DraftKings to justify
That's
justify the
hilarious.
buy. But yeah, I think for like 210 I got it for.
Okay. So yeah, so low ass now is about 217. And yeah, that's I got a little lucky because I had bought my New England defensive card last week because
Wow,
I needed a top defense and they were projecting pretty decently against the Browns. So I snuck that one in.
that's
But
smart.
yeah, it is pricey right now. And of course we'll have the jokers that'll play it as New England defense as
Yeah,
well.
that's true too. I keep forgetting that. In my mind, if you get a joker, you can't use it on defense because it's like, yeah, I'm just like, oh yeah, you pick a quarterback or wide receiver or tight end.
Yeah.
But I just saw Ryan's comment where he's like, "You're live now," and that's what was bumming me out. It's like I think Miami has the ability to maybe score like 25 points this week against the Jets, and I have that. But I did not want to build 3 lineups this week and be like, okay, I'm dead already, like because I have no exposure to the Patriots defense, so like there's no path to winning it, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, there's some of these other defensive plays that certainly have a ceiling here. I think Tennessee, versus Houston obviously looks nice. Cleveland versus Detroit. I mean, Jared Goff might not even play. Like
I
that
know
could be a disaster, but 32 points is
it's
such a
crazy.
monster number. I would put the bet if I would say it's like, I don't know, 80% chance that New England defense is in the winning lineup, something
Yeah,
around there.
and I'd give them like an 8-point favorite. Like I bet like the next closest is 24.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we see anything that high, you know?
Yeah. And I know the guys over at On the Moment have been talking about this, but just kind of continuing on this point of being active in the Thursday marketplace. Um, a week from today is going to be a big day in the marketplace because we're going to have those 3 games.
Mhm.
So, it is going to be smart to start looking ahead at some of those matchups. If that's how I've been bad about selling. I think I've
Yeah.
listed one thing just because I like, as you can see from my projection, my bolded ones here are the cards I own. I like having a lot of options.
Yeah.
But there are going to be some really good flip opportunities after Thursday.
I know. I was just thinking I have like 5 Dallas tight ends, I think, and I was like, there's no way Dalton Schultz will all 5 of those will remain on my roster after Thanksgiving.
I know I have 2 of the Las Vegas tight ends, and granted, that actually hasn't been a great card to have, but I'm always tempted to go sell it. And then I start looking at the projections like, what if I get the Waller 40-point game that I want to have it in 2 spots?
Well, Mike went shopping this morning. Waller was another ad as well, but he was like 50. I think I got him for $50.
Yeah, that's not bad. And
Yeah.
that actually brings me, Zach says here, I'm stacking on Thanksgiving game players already in hopes of some potential market profit. Yeah. And I mean, let me remind
I
myself
can't
what
tell
the
if Pete
schedule
froze or I
is.
froze. I feel like it's Pete now.
Am I frozen? I
Uh,
feel fine.
yeah.
Can you not hear
Well,
me?
now you're back. You're back. It might have been me. Your screen, I could still see you moving the mouse around, but I
Uh,
couldn't. You were gone.
I was just going to look at our Thursday game. So we have Bears Lions. That feels like a defensive card kind of game.
Mhm.
Cowboys Raiders. That feels like we could, like you said, you see some of those tight end cards pop off. And then Bills Saints. I mean, the Saints have been a disaster for fantasy this year, but you could also see some Bills fun there as well. Uh-oh. Now Mike's frozen for me. Who has been frozen for you guys in the chat? Are you back, Mike?
No.
No?
Am
Can
I
you hear me?
back? Am I back?
You're back now.
I think
I
that one
can't
was
tell if
me.
it's me or you.
I think that one was me because I got 3 little wheels spinning around.
um, we're back. I was just looking at the Thanksgiving there to see what we could see shake out.
Wow.
Both of you have frozen. We are now both frozen. Um, so one thing I was excited to get pulled up today, and I've been working on this in my sheet, is I now in the I'll show you to you guys on the site. You can download a CSV with the low ask in the marketplace.
Ooh, I
So
love that.
here's this button here, download low ask, because my kind of complaint earlier is it's hard to kind of look around and see what the low ask is here. So now you can get a CSV. And then what I was able to do is I pulled that in to the projections and then just come up with a little points per dollar thing relative to projection versus USD to try to see who are the best weekly values. So I thought we could take a look at this. I can zoom it here. Right now I have it sorted by projection because, one thing you want to be careful of, it's like, I can scroll down here and I see Washington wide receiver looks like a good points per dollar play, but they have no ceiling.
Right.
And so you worry about that. But one that really jumped out to me, Mike, was the Green Bay wide receiver projecting for 30.7, only costing low ask right now, 35.90 in the marketplace. They look like the best buy to me right now.
Yeah, that seems nuts. That seems nuts. And I know they've had like a couple of quiet weeks in a row, right? Because you had Jordan Love one week, and then last week no one decided to play offense in that game. So I don't know if people were just like, oh, the Packers are toast right now. But I mean, I would still. Rodgers is going to throw way more than he's going to run. So I like that.
Tea time. I mean, what's wrong with my screenshot, Mike? What more do these people? They want more color coding in here. They want a different font. What do they
Yeah,
want from me?
I don't know. Tea time. That's aggressive tea time.
Is
I
tea
feel like
time one
this.
of your goons?
Yeah, tea time's the team hold goon.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness, these goons.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what do they want it blown up a little bit more? I don't know.
It's like I'm doing all the dirty work for you guys. I'm literally spoon feeding you the best value plays
Oh
in the market.
no, we've misinterpreted. He's complimenting. He's
Okay.
complimenting.
Oh, sorry. I missed the comment. Hey, it's been a long week. And you know what? I'm very, a lot of these Mike's goons, they come after me, man. So I'm just
Oh
defensive
yeah,
against these
yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, they're known for that. They're known for that. I like that everyone knew they were complimenting except us too. Even Coop's in there being like, "You
No,
idiots."
I mean, when you're at the end of the week and you've done, 14 shows, you're just ready to go after any commenter.
I
I
know.
apologize to the Team Hold crew. I apologize.
No, listen, I'm very guilty of this. I've been yelling at people who've been saying nice things for a long time. So,
Wow, and now they've turned on me. Now they're canceling me. The other one that jumped out to me, and I don't think it's one that people are rushing to get, but Tennessee wide receiver.
yeah.
I was just talking to Karain on my GPP show, and he said Tennessee has actually been, or sorry, Houston's actually been better against the run than the pass, and they're a bit of a pass funnel. And so now
Oh,
you're getting AJ Brown in a really good spot. I mean, Marcus Johnson played good last week, and it's a really, really plush matchup. We've seen over the years too, those Tennessee Houston divisional matchups like really shoot out into kind of, wonky games. It's if you're just trying to piece together a ceiling lineup on a budget, I think you could do a lot worse than Tennessee wide receiver.
no, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. And especially because it's not like, I mean, I know Tennessee defense is going to project well, but I mean, I'm not scared of the Tennessee defense. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if Houston like throws up some points. So if like they have to keep moving, I like that a lot. What's the price on that one again? Where did you say that was?
So Tennessee wide receiver right now is $29.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
$29. And you can see here some of what we would say are maybe the more frothy relative to their projection. So Dallas wide receiver is really expensive at 164. Buffalo QB, as expected, pretty expensive at 177. And again, this is all relative, right? It's scaled to the rest of them. Those guys are the most expensive for a reason. They have the ceiling that you might need to take it down, but definitely not bargains in the marketplace.
No. What's your take on this Dallas KC game?
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked for DFS looking at the DraftKings slate that because of the pricing and there's enough interest right now in AJ Dillon, Devontae Adams, the Bengals pass catchers, that the game seems like it might be in check a little bit from a DFS ownership perspective.
Yeah.
But as far as, we don't get 56.5 point totals that often.
I know, and it's just so far ahead of everything else too. That's what I was hoping the pricing was going to keep it down, and that would be in a similar situation that we had with like Dallas, Atlanta last week too, where it seemed like that's where everyone was going to go, and then that didn't happen. Like the percentages stayed in check. So
Yeah,
I like that.
let's speaking of that, we can maybe build some lineups here.
Please get that Patriots marketplace off the screen. I can't.
Yeah, before you go buy it again.
I did. There was a part of me. I was like, do I just scoop 3 of these, lock them in?
Med will literally buy the top on New England defense before going to therapy.
Listen, find you a man that can do both.
All right, let's build some lineups here. We can do after I do one, if you want to do a screen share here. Yeah. So the thing I'm thinking about, we'll put in my New England defense here for this top lineup. And I think my big decision is now, do I run it around, closer to the optimal, which I think would be Buffalo QB wide receiver, or do I lean in to that Dallas game stack because I do have Dallas QB wide receiver and KC tight end?
I think with you having the Patriots defense here, I'm not going optimal. I'm trying to build my like highest ceiling. I think, because I imagine everyone else is going pretty optimal with that. So to me, this is like you are, I don't know how many people enter this, like 2,000, something like that. And 300 or so, I don't know, say there's like 150 Patriots defenses in there. That's who you're competing against right now, those 150 people. I'm just like creating the highest ceiling that I can.
Tea time here saying that my lineup is trash. What the? No. Oh no, he's saying Dallas will eat this week. Yes. Yeah. So this is how I'm leaning right now to play my New England, just getting access to this game. And then, my options for running back, I have Tennessee running back. I have San Francisco running back, Carolina running back. If I want to roll out that, I basically have, you can see in my projections here for running back, I have like all of the ones bunched up here in this mid tier. Obviously New England already played. This was their initial projection, but I feel like this is now kind of a choose your own adventure. And I feel like I'm going to pick the wrong one.
Yeah, this is, I think I'm going Carolina, right? I think that's right. Carolina or Minnesota. Those are the ones that, wow, Tampa Bay running back projects really well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who are they Steelers on Monday night?
I think so.
I think that's the game. That's the thing too about, so Carolina running back just scares me a little bit, not because I'm scared of, McCaffrey's production himself, but more just, I think that game could just be a really low scoring game. And where McCaffrey, and the reason McCaffrey isn't separating in Carolina running back is just because we don't have that PPR.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
So it is a little tempting. San Francisco, if they had both, Eli Mitchell and Wayne Gallman fully healthy and they were just kind of their full Voltron rushing attack against Jacksonville, that would be more interesting, but doesn't look like Mitchell's going to play. I like Jeff Wilson, but I don't know. There's certainly no clean running back plays up here. There's all kind of question marks around them.
I know this would ruin your stack too, which I'm sure you want to keep it for correlating purposes. But I mean, if you're just trying to build your highest ceiling, does Jonathan Taylor make sense? Does Indy make sense there?
Yeah, I do think that if I do that, I would just prefer to do it in the Bills one, just because I feel like in games where Taylor hits his ceiling, either things have gone awful for the Bills or it's a shootout.
What is the, if we go back to the marketplace for a second, what is the Cleveland running back looking like, right? Because you don't own that, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, since they would project the best getting Nick Chubb back this week. Are you going to try to now you're going to get me to go spending?
170 is the lowest?
170.
Whoa.
Mike's like, I've paid far more for a defense.
It's going to be so fishy in like a week from now. By Monday morning, I'm going to feel like an idiot. Wow. I thought that was going to be a little less. I thought, that would be around like 120 or something. And I'd be like, okay, maybe.
And the thing that's also hard is if Cleveland running back in the projections was separating a ton, if
Yeah.
they were like 8 or 9 points, I'd be like, all right, this is a spot where I should probably just try to get this. But because the projections are so bunched up there, I don't feel the need to pay up for 3% or 3 points more projection.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. San Francisco too. They're also. I mean, man, this is tough.
Yeah. I do think I'm leaning right now to Carolina running back is how I would do it. And also because like you said, I think I'll use Minnesota running back in a Green Bay stack and I
Yeah.
think I'll use Indianapolis running back in a Bill stack. So it does just make sense unless I want to kind of gal brain San Francisco or Tennessee. I think Carolina is the best option.
Yeah, I think so too. Las Vegas is projecting pretty well too, which surprised me. But I don't think I'd play them.
Yeah. Do you want to screen share
Yeah.
one of your builds?
Yeah, let's do this. I got a couple of fun spots too, so I'm excited to go through this. Let's see.
If you guys I know Mike, you have a owners club channel in your Discord too, right?
Yeah, we have an owners OTM TOC it's called. So get in there if you guys are over in the Team Hold Discord.
Yep, we got in both the Discords there are owners club specific channels if you guys want to continue the conversation after the show today. So yeah, what are you thinking about for your main lineup?
So here we go. We got the Baltimore. Let's actually throw the defense in there first because I want to justify this spend immediately, right?
Here we
justify
go.
this right away. Wait, where is it?
Mike, are you sure you bought it?
Hold on. Let's go. I swear I bought it.
I mean, Mike, this actually might be good for you if the purchase did go through.
Wait, no, I swear I bought it. I have.
Did
Oh
you
my
get
gosh.
rugged?
Hold on
Here,
now.
I'll let you go off the screen here while you look. I will
Well, now I need to check something.
but Mike got rugged.
I think I did. This is me now checking my transactions because
Maybe you just had a dream last night that you purchased.
Let's see. Coop, I need Coop. Is Coop still watching?
Where's Coop?
Coop, it was purchased. Maybe wow. This is devastating news.
Well, you know what? I think we could probably use our imagination on your lineup build.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to it. All right. So
Everyone use your imagination that Mike did buy this. He definitely spent all this money on a defense.
I did. And in true Top Shot fashion, because of what just happened, I expect a cosmic to show up in my account to justify to make good for what happened.
I expect Coop to send you infinite objects to display your owners club cards.
All right, so we've got those 32 points locked in the Patriots defense. Here we go. So we have the KC quarterback, but I don't have a good. Well, that's not true. I have the wide receiver joker. So we've got a KC stack that's possible. We have a Cincinnati stack that's possible.
Yeah.
We have a Green Bay stack that's possible, although that's not popping in either. And then we also have the Baltimore stack.
Do you have Las Vegas tight end?
I sure do. Well, actually, it's probably not popping up now because I'm not seeing any of my purchases are.
Mike, does your girlfriend live in Canada too? Everything you've told me is a lie.
Oh man.
Because I do love that. I mean, that Bengals stack and I know Waller has been a disappointment of late, but no one needs to be sold on his ceiling. And that stack just makes a ton of sense. And I was also going to pull up ownership from last week because to me, it does feel like that would be the game that has slightly less ownership in the stacks relative to Dallas, KC, Buffalo.
Yeah. So the Joe Burrow, the Bengals with the tight end bring back.
Yeah.
So all right. So I don't have any of those to plug in, except for the quarterback. I think I have the quarterback.
Let's do what of cards you actually own, Mike.
Well,
not the ones you wish you own.
But hold on. So what running back would you throw in there?
So what are your so you have Carolina.
We do have Cleveland in there. Cincinnati.
So
Dallas.
you have really good options. And another thing that I kind of like too, I probably wouldn't use Kansas City running back, but
No.
Dallas running back's kind of interesting because again, you're almost thinking of it from a leverage standpoint.
Right.
If that's the most popular game stack, and then that passing game fails, but like Zeke falls in the end zone 3 times, or Tony Pollard rips off a long touchdown run, like that's a nice way to kind of leverage that more chalky card.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I like that. I like that call a lot. Hold on. I'm checking one
But
more
it's
thing.
also really tough not to just toss Cleveland running back into your best lineup.
I know. But the Dallas one, I like the Dallas one because I do still think we have other options. So, all right, let's for this. We're saying we plug Dallas in. Let's build one of cards that I actually have. So
I'm going to build one later with my 5 jokers that just haven't hit my account yet.
So what do you think here? You like, do we go? You built a Dallas stack, right? So let's not.
Yeah,
do that.
I want to see that. What do you?
Because
Do you
I
have,
could do. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it would be maybe mess around and see what like a naked Baltimore QB lineup looks like.
So if we throw that in there, we could go over to running back. And again, the running back, like I still have that Joker wide receiver. So I think this could be like a fun place to have like a little mini correlation.
Yeah,
But Cleveland, I don't know if we're just building like who's Cleveland playing?
Cleveland is playing Detroit, so
Ugh.
yeah, that's going to be a nice spot, obviously for Chubb, and you could even see Dearness Johnson get in the mix for you there. Wide receiver is interesting because I'm trying to ask myself, what are the wide receiver groups that could, get there without their quarterback putting up a monster score? And I do think Cincinnati is one of the best kind of candidates for that, just because Burrow isn't going to offer you a ton of rushing. You could see him throw a couple picks and stuff and just kind of keep his score down. But like Green Bay wide receiver, like if Green Bay wide receiver goes off, like Rodgers is probably coming along for that ride. I don't know. Maybe Rodgers is similar to Burrow than I'm giving credit for.
But I like that because I did want to do Rodgers Green Bay wide receiver stack. I do want to do that at one point. Like I think I was definitely going to do a Burrow. I was definitely going to do a Green Bay one, and then deciding on that third one of like either using Dak because I do have Dak. But now, like the more I'm thinking about it, I kind of like how many people have Dak and are going to use that in the side hustle. Right, I imagine most people are probably throwing that in their main if they have it.
Yeah. We should hit on because people have been. I saw a couple questions about how you want to approach main event if you don't have New England defense, or if you don't have them, what are your thoughts about playing your best players in the side hustle? So I get where it's coming from. The 33 points is just enough where, like I said, I think 80% of the time it's in the optimal. I still think there are enough combinations around it that if you have, I would say, like if you're able to put together a lineup that projects, top 2 to 3 at the rest of the other 4 positions, I might say let's still go to battle. Kind of thing. Now, if you're kind of weaker in another spot, then I think you're just probably sacrificing way too much. What is your thought on that?
Yeah, but I would say too, like I would not play New England in the side hustle. Like I think 33 points is not enough for the side. Like for the Island of Misfit Toys, definitely. Like where it's defense and tight end, but the side hustle where you can. I mean, how often does a quarterback and a wide receiver like surpass 30 something points? Right? I feel like you see 40 quite often.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why, I mean, the side hustle is definitely conducive to running out those stacks there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to do it, right? A lot of people are going to throw that defense in there, in their main one. So yeah, I don't. Oh, I misread the comment. I get it now. My bad. You were saying like use your best ones in there because you don't have it in the main event. And that's where a lot of it's going to come from.
Right. It basically kind of you're throwing in the towel on the main event because New England D is going to be dominant at the top of the leaderboards and you're not going to be able to contend for, a top 10 finish.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
Yeah. And as DJ Local says here, I sold New England DST for more than the payout for Island of Misfit cards. And that is definitely the play. Like
definitely
if you are, I do agree with that. If you're thinking about putting it into one of the side contests, like just sell the card
Yeah.
because you're banking in really, really locked in profit without any of the variants, without worrying about dupes, without worrying about serials. Like just sell it if you want to lock in the profit.
Can't screenshot that win though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the one thing you can screenshot is actually having owned the card before, which you can't
That's true.
do right now.
That's true. Again, I still no cosmic airdrops yet, so maybe Rohan will address this in the AMA tomorrow. All right, let's lock in a wide receiver here.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's fill in the rest of it because then that might make that decision a little bit easier. So for this one, the Miami D is probably my next best defense.
Let me see what else do you.
Tampa, Pittsburgh, a couple Phillies, the Giants, Washington.
Yeah.
I think Miami, right?
I think Miami's probably your best bet against Joe Flacco.
Yeah. And then again, if we go over to tight end, I mean, I don't know. Do you think I know we originally were talking about doing naked.
No, I think that makes sense. If you have Baltimore tight end, it is the one position where I don't feel like you have to force the correlation, but as a tiebreaker, I mean, I think that looks good to me.
You know what's been tilting? I've been using the Tennessee tight end for my low ball every week, and they 2 catches, 2 touchdowns every single week.
I know because they have both Swaim and Ferk Daddy in the mix. Daddy.
So with this build right here, I think we just take whatever we think the highest upside wide receiver is, right? Like we don't even have to worry about correlation.
To me, it's Cincy or Buffalo.
Yeah, and I like Cincy.
Yeah. To me, that makes more sense. I do really think if Buffalo wide receiver is in the optimal, Josh Allen will be as well. Whereas I can totally see Paz to where Cincy wide receiver can get there.
Yeah, I think so too. I like this. So this will be my second best lineup because my best one, of course, will have all of those cards I referenced.
So what? Just real quick, what will be you're going to do New England DST? You'll run out 2 Cincy wide receivers.
Actually, but I'm not. No, I'm only going to roll out one because I didn't buy the other one. I was going to use the Joker. So I think my real lineup is going to be Cincy quarterback, Cincy wide receiver, Raiders tight end, New England defense, and then either probably Dallas running back.
Yeah, I think that's the smart leverage play, and then you'll use your Joker on another wide receiver.
Yeah, I'll use it on a different one. Probably Buffalo, honestly. Probably the same lineup with Buffalo.
Yeah. Let's see here. Should we build a lowball lineup here as we wrap up?
Yeah. You want to do it or you want me to do it?
Let's see here. I can pull up my lowball and show off my dusty cards.
Yeah, show them off. Show off the crap.
All right, let's see here. So I do have a couple right off the bat that I feel like Atlanta quarterback put up 2.32 points last night.
Not great.
Not great unless there happens to be a contest where ineptitude is rewarded. So I will think it's going to be very tough for Atlanta. Oh, wait, I just did a mic. I could have sworn.
Oh, wow.
I pulled a mic. God, this is so brutal. I can't believe I pulled a mic. Dude, I put it in.
Check your spreadsheet that Tea Time hates and see if it's bolded.
Coop, I could swear to God, I wish I had an Atlanta QB.
I wish I had.
Coop, take care of it, Coop. All right. So my worst projected quarterback is probably going to be either Jets QB, Colts QB, or Jacksonville QB.
Okay.
Who do you think's the worst option?
I think Jacksonville. My fear with Jacksonville is like garbage time, but I think that's the worst.
Yeah.
And I also, just to address Jeb keep saying refresh. I promise. I opened up other tabs and refreshed. It's not the refresh button.
Mike, shut down your computer. Take it to a Best Buy, have them defrag it, come back, open it back up. I'll still be doing the stream, and then we'll see if it's there.
I need to send it to the Goon Squad.
So now for my running backs, it's actually I believe my worst card is New York Giants running back.
Oh yeah, that is. I feel confident saying that. Yeah.
That's going to be a real dusty play this week.
Do you
I'm
think
trying to.
the Atlanta
Oh,
running backs in
no,
play?
you're right. You're right. Atlanta RB had 7.1 last night, and I do, as verified on the blockchain, have that card. I should probably pull out Atlanta running back, I would say.
Yeah, because I've got a couple of those. So I think I'll be rolling out some Atlanta running backs.
Then as far as wide receiver, I do have Atlanta wide receiver. So they were 9.3.
It's too many.
You think?
I feel like we can get lower than 9, no?
So my other kind of candidates, just based on projection, I have Philly, I have Chicago, New Orleans, Carolina.
Oh, man.
I really, so just to give people an idea, like the projections, the lowest projected wide receiver crew is Detroit at 15.9 and Atlanta scored 9.3. So,
okay, that's pretty low.
But I do, yeah, you could definitely see something under 9.3. We can look at what was what the low score was for wide receiver last week here.
Is Kyler back this week?
Yes, he practiced today. Everything's trying. He's still, I think he's going to be questionable officially, but DeAndre's been ruled out.
I was going to say, because if we don't get Kyler, I think that is a little sneaky too.
So low ball wide receiver, we got 3.6 Falcons. We had 4.2 Browns, 11.02 Lions. So you could, it's in the fringe there. It's a tough call.
Wait, who was 4.2? Is that Cleveland last week?
Cleveland wide receiver 4.2 last week.
In a blowout too. That's
Cardinals were 7.3 last week.
Wow.
It is pretty crazy that Kyler was just absolutely setting the world on fire the first 4 weeks, and then he was shipping low ball. Or I guess he wasn't. He didn't play last week, but still,
Colt McCoy,
a fall from grace. I'm gonna double it up here. I'm gonna roll. Bank those sub 10 points there from the wide receiver. Tight end, the one I've been my go-to for dusty tight end has been Carolina tight end.
That's great. Yeah. Do you have anybody else? No.
It's been so bad. Let's see who is shipping it last week. Carolina tight end 0.3, Dolphins 5.7. That takes some stones to put Dolphins tight end in your low ball. That worked out.
Yeah.
Eagles,
wow, a lot of low points.
Tight end is so gross.
Yeah.
So gross. And then defense here. Minnesota defense is probably my best, or Chicago defense against Baltimore. Which one of those do you think is dustier?
Wait, say that one more time.
I could do Chicago defense against Baltimore, or I could do Minnesota defense against Green Bay or New York. But I kind of don't. New York Jets, I think, could be fine against Tua.
Yeah, I don't trust New York, or I do trust New York more than I trust. Yeah, Minnesota's interesting. I could see Green Bay running up and down.
Yeah, by projections, the 3 or the 4 worst. I can just tab over actually. New York Giants 3, Indianapolis 3.8, KC 4, Minnesota 4.1.
Okay.
Yeah. And Tea Time makes up this point, and Lou mentioned this in the chat earlier, and it is one thing that I definitely, when I'm, critiquing, lineups, knowing that not everyone has a ton of options. And so you will see funkier constructions just based on availability of what you have.
That's true. Not everyone gets those airdrops. So
not everyone just goes and buys the New England defense in the marketplace.
I promise.
Do you want to build a low ball lineup?
Yeah.
Let's get yours up here.
Let's see what
we got to win one of these live final seats, Mike.
I need it.
We need it. I've never won a live final.
See, have you ever tried to qualify for a live final though?
I did, and then I tightened up my bankroll management so I don't dust it off like I used to. Shout out to Justin Freeman. He qualified on the Showdown slate on DraftKings last night for King of the Beach. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Chicago quarterback always stands out, but what's scary about that is like the running capabilities.
Yeah, he's projecting a little bit better this week too.
I mean, it's Washington, right? Like
Washington QB looks bad. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
do you have Detroit?
I don't have Detroit. No.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be my next marketplace spend.
You actually have pretty good quarterbacks.
My quarterback's loaded. Quarterback's absolutely loaded. All right, running back, Jacksonville probably stands out a little bit. Oh, no, Atlanta. We already talked about Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I do think if there was, I mean, Jacksonville versus San Francisco, you could definitely see. I think it's close. I really think as far as making the optimals, Atlanta RB is a tough decision.
Yeah. I know it's close. James Robinson's around again, right?
Yes, he was limited in practice yesterday. He has both like the heel and knee injuries going on, I think. So who knows?
Yeah, let's throw in Atlanta. Let's throw in Atlanta and go from there.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, Cleveland wide receiver stands out. I'm terrified of playing Houston wide receiver because they get down 30, but then they score
Houston wide receiver like projects pretty well. They're at 21.9 points.
Yeah. What did New England wide receiver put up last night? Was that like 9?
Good question. Let me go.
Oh no, Atlanta was 9, right?
I want to say they were, because Aguilar scored.
Yeah.
I think they were. I'm going over.
Oh, Aguilar scored. That's right. They were like 14 then, probably.
Yeah. Wide receiver scored 21.5. So they're not in play.
They're probably playing for a main lineup or a side hustle or something. Okay, so Cleveland and it's probably just Cleveland, right?
Yeah, the issue. I mean, Cleveland dusted last week. It is a better spot against the Lions, but looking at your options, scroll down again.
It's the Raiders. I guess the Raiders could, but I kind of like that game to shoot out. Yeah. So that makes me nervous. And then Los Angeles, which is, underperformed a little bit lately.
No,
but I don't feel good.
I think it's definitely Cleveland wide receiver out of those options.
And then tight end, again, I'm going to get the Swaim gang is going to end up screwing me again.
Is that a thing? Oh, yeah. The Goons in the Swaim gang.
But we've got Tennessee. New England didn't score a touchdown for the first time in a while.
New England tight end was 4.2 last night.
Ooh, lock it in, baby.
It's definitely in play. I would say I would probably play New England tight end unless I had a Carolina or Jets tight end, would just kind of be my gut.
And I don't. And then so Detroit defense feels like a lock here, right?
So the only reason they're projecting slightly better than a few other teams, I think, is just because the Cleveland quarterback have just been so bad and a little prone to it. But what are your other options?
Washington D's been pretty bad. We got Washington here, Tampa D, sneaky awful as well. A couple Philly D's, Pittsburgh, the Giants, the Colts too. If we think that game shoots out,
the Colts are projecting as the second lowest. I see them at 3.8. I like that.
Lock that in.
Looks pretty dusty, Mike.
It's pretty dusty.
Pretty dusty. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Mike and I will keep this rolling. Next week, we will be on the Team Hold channel. I appreciate your goons heading over our way here for this show.
Yeah, you got to get the goons to the Deposit Kingdom.
That's right. We need to have like a mixer, the Deposit Kingdom Team Hold mixer.
We do. We need a mixer. I like that.
It's like when like the all boys like Catholics, school paired up with the all girls Catholic school for a homecoming dance or something.
I like that. We'll have a little church dance.
All right. Mike, anything else you'd like to plug? What kind of programming do you have coming up for stuff?
We're doing a show. We're doing a free show at 3:30, doing some moment rank stuff to get people an idea of, because Top Shot just partnered, or Dapper partnered with Moment Ranks, and they just like beefed up the prizes quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna roll out some premium Moment Ranks breakdown, similar to kind of like what we did here. But we're gonna do a free one today, and if people are into that, they can hang out for more. But yes, we're doing that at 3:30 over at Team Hold.
Awesome. Sounds great. I will be here in 20 minutes. We are doing Splash Play. We have guest Cooter Doodle on, who is very funny. So if you want to check out some of our bold predictions for the Week 11 slate, you guys can stick around. Thank you to Mike for joining us. We will see you guys next week. Good luck in those tournaments. One of you will ship a live final seed. I can feel it.